Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a 6 of Pentacles. This is great. This is material success. If you've been involved in any sort of project or any sort of anything, right? If you've been trying to do something lately, this card is saying it's going to work. That everything is going to align. It's going to be successful. This card sort of reminds me of like a lock, where all the combination lock or all the parts of the tumbler sort of have to line up together for everything to open. That's what this card feels like. It feels like the proper alignment of people, places, and things, right? That's going to unlock the success that you've been waiting for. Okay. I feel like you're a very ambitious person. I feel like you work very well in a group of people. Right now, if you're not in some part of a team, I find that hard to believe. Even if you're a team of 1 or a team of 2, it's still a team, I feel that the chances are you are in some sort of a partnership or some sort of a team effort or some sort of a group that you're in, right? Now's the time to really focus on that group, appreciate that group, and realize that everybody involved is bringing something very important to the table. Nobody's better than anybody else. This is a round table, right? No one sits at the head of this table. Everybody has a job to do, and everybody needs to do it well, and that's how we align everything perfectly to unlock the success. All right. Let's see what's going on with this energy and where it's taking you or where it's originating from. Let's see a little bit about what's going on here. All right. We've got the Sun card. Yeah, you're just, I think you recognize how successful this is going to be, and this is sort of everybody is a star, right? And every star gets together and forms a beautiful constellation, and if everybody is functioning at their highest level, then the success really is, it's out of this world, right? I think you're a very ambitious person. I think you're also very generous and very optimistic about things. You feel like a really good soul to me. You really do. Let's keep going. Let's put the rest of our cards down. Also, stay tuned till the end of the video for some channel announcements, all right? We've got a Knight of Wands. We've got a 2 of Cups. We've got the Hanged Man up there. We've got a Princess of Swords. Princess of Swords in this position. I always like it in this position. It's always kind of a fun card to have here. Because what I feel with the Princess of Swords in the sort of future position, or what you're looking at, is you're looking at options. You're looking at the ability to decide what to do next, And this is kind of like the path isn't, it's not deterministic, right? The path is not preordained for you. This is you thinking about it, figuring it out, experimenting, dabbling, getting some information. You're reading some prospects and seeing which direction you want to go. So I feel that there's choice here. I feel that there's sort of learning. There's an investigation. There's a learning about different things so that you can decide where to take your life next. And I don't feel that you have what might be sort of a common anxiety about that fact. You've got the Star card here as your general energy. So of course you've got this sense of destiny, and you realize that your destiny isn't deterministic, right? We've got an Ace of Wands, very nice. We've got the Hierophant, but we've got the Fool. Hierophant and the Fool, very different. And this is interesting because this is in the position of what we don't want. Okay. This position in the spread is what we don't want, but what we need. And I think that's going to be important when we talk about the idea of the group and sort of the, we'll get to it. I feel that there is maybe a little bit of a reluctance in you to be part of the group. Or since we're getting the emphasis on the Sun card here, maybe this is the idea that you are standing out from the group. That you are sort of, you sort of are at the head of the table. And the work here, like this week, might be for you to kind of focus on the group itself. Don't focus so much on yourself, but focus on what you're contributing to the larger picture. Even if it's not a formal group or team, you're still you're interconnected with the rest of us in your neighborhood, in the company, in the job you do, the work you do, or, the society that you're in, And so we kind of need a little bit of that. I don't want to call it conformity, but we want a little bit of that sort of teamwork, connectedness, Everybody is a star. Everybody contributes their very best effort, and that's how we unlock the success here. So it's very interesting that we have the Hierophant, because the Hierophant is kind of the one who claims to be the boss, or the Hierophant is the one that is sort of, in a way, containing everybody in a particular direction, right? But then as we move over in the path of the Serpent, I feel like you're taking a new direction. So it's like we have to complete this work in this team effort for you to then branch out and maybe do something on your own to separate yourself from the group, That maybe, and in some ways it feels like the way you stand out here is by being part of the team, by not trying to stand out, right? But I feel that between these two, there's an emphasis here on this unique individual, right, in the context of this team, right? And I think that individual's you. I think that in this team effort, you can't help but stand out, And I don't think it's really a matter of you dimming your shine or hiding your light away or dimming your brightness. I don't think that's it. But I think we have to be careful of, the pride that sort of goes along with that. The feeling of like, yeah, of course I'm number one. Of course I deserve all of the credit. I think there's a humbleness in you that needs to shine forth as well, and this generosity and this sort of helpfulness and the team vibe, But I think you can't help but to stand out. Yeah. So let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here. We're going to put Alien, Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. Don't forget, Sagittarius, you are magic. All right. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments down below. That card will tie everything together and provide us with a confirmation or a conclusion at the end of the reading. All right. Let's use our intuition and let's all see if we can discern that card together. Yeah. Let's take a look around the room. We have some very good major arcana energies. We've got the Sun and the Hanged Man. We've got the Star, the Hierophant, the Fool, right? And the Star is that sense of destiny. The Star is you understanding who you are and where you're going, what you're made of, why you're here, all that good stuff, right? It's the twofold operation of the Star card that leads, obviously, to the Ace of Wands. But then it sort of puts us in opposition here. The Fool and the Hierophant, very different energies, right? The Hierophant says that there is a certain way to do things, that there are certain institutions, that this is the nature of reality, and if you want a feeling of safety and security and stability, well, then you're going to listen to the Hierophant, you're going to do what you're told, and you're going to believe all the things that you're told to believe, right? The Fool is kind of saying, I want direct experience. I'm not going to take your word for it about how great it is or how much I should believe in it. I want to go have the experience on my own. I don't want you to tell me how great Spain is or traveling to Greece, I want to go there myself and experience it, Don't describe to me how ice cream tastes. I want to go to the ice cream parlor and buy my own, It's that sort of difference. And so I feel as if you are sort of emerging as, honestly, like, the cream of the crop here. And I feel that there is this uniqueness, this individuality in you that's coming out of this group context. And you can't help that, right? But part of the work now, I think, is to continue to be of service and don't let that individuality or that recognition, right, get the best of you. Stay generous, continue to be of service, humble yourself before yourself, before your destiny, before, it's kind of like let's say this is school, right? We want to unlock the very best experience we can have here until we sort of emerge and transcend and go explore life in our own way here. But this is that group setting. And it could be family, it could be a workplace, it could be some sort of a college, university, a technical school or something like that. But I feel like you're sort of here to hone your skills in a way. It's kind of like you're making your bones here. You're sort of paying your dues. You're making a name for yourself in a way. And then you're going to experience, I think, a lot of freedom from all of this concentrated effort. Okay. So we have our major arcana, and over here we've got the sun, of course, and the hanged man, which is, do you shine at full brightness or do you dim your light, right? Do you emerge in this group and you conceal yourself in the collective light of the whole of the group, right? Whether we're talking family, friends, the school, coworkers, the big company you work for, or your neighborhood, your society, your church, whatever it is, temple, lodge, order. The idea here is really whether you allow yourself to shine and emerge as something unique and individual, right? Or if we blend in with the collective light of all the other stars. So you're not the only star, right? Everybody is a star in this, and everybody has to be, because this is everybody fulfilling their nature to the fullest, being the very best version of themselves, putting forth their best effort, and it is that high level of quality that all together is unlocking that tremendous success. Okay, you can't control what other people do. Okay, so it's not about you dumbing it down. It's not about you trying to achieve less. There's that one person in school that always does really, really well on the exams. And so if they're grading on the curve, then they sort of skew the whole curve and they make it harder on the rest of us. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm seeing here. But you can't help but to do your very best. It's not your fault that other people may not be. Okay, you shouldn't have to intentionally get some of the answers wrong just because you don't want to be singled out as the one who threw off the whole bell curve thing, or that you're the smarty pants in class, right? And I think this goes for any situation, any context. You're not out here and flaunting it. You're not out here being vain and arrogant about it, but you cannot do anything less than your best. And if this puts you above other people in terms of grades or whatever accomplishments, what do, right? I think sometimes the hanged man up here wants to just sort of dumb it down, wants to just be a regular bloke, right? So as to not stand out. But Sagittarius, I think that you're someone who does, and you can't help it, right? So we've got our majors. We've got fire. We've got water. We've got air. We've got earth. We have a pretty good balance of everything, but there is a huge abundance of major arcana. I think this is a big spiritual shift for you. Going from, I think this is almost, I think your world's about to shift, yeah, big time, because I feel like you're sort of emerging from a cocoon right now. And this is the cocoon, and this is you emerging from it, okay? And there's some stuff that you deal with during that process. First thing we deal with, I think, is the Knight of Wands, and that's this underlying feeling of, hurry up. I want to get the heck out of here so I can go be out in the world doing my thing. Now, maybe we'll use the context of someone who's in a technical school, that you're ready for it to be over. You're ready to just go forward with this. You have the talent and the skill and the knowledge and the character and the fortitude and the integrity for it, right? You know who you are. You're ready to get started on that new life. You're ready for the world to shift over toward that Fool energy, that freedom, right? Because maybe the Hierophant is sort of representative of the school, the institution, of having to be part of that group, that team. Even though I think really you don't want it. You want your independence, you want your freedom, you want to be done with school and go out and live your life, make your money, and start your business or whatever it is. And that's just the analogy. Maybe you're not in school, maybe you're retired, maybe you're in your senior years, maybe you're a teenager. I don't care. It doesn't matter, right? This is the energy we're talking about. Apply it to your life how you need to. But you know that you have the talent and the skill that you belong here. And this is kind of, this is a real confidence. Between this and the Sun card, this is like you're in the classroom or whatever, you're in this context, you're in this group, you're in this family or in this workplace thing. And you know that you deserve to be there, that you belong there, that this is right for you, okay? And this seems to me like this is like a fundamental sort of force in you. Yeah, there's no doubt in your mind. Now we're looking at this. We don't have a lot of Swords cards, right? We've got the Sword card here. We've got the Princess of Swords in the future position, or sort of what you're looking at, because it's we're ready to sort of be done with this. And I think that this is a this is a card that says, yeah, I still have more to learn. I'm emerging from this group as a star in space, right? As sort of a graduation or an emergence, or the butterfly is sort of emerging. But we have this recognition, which is sort of a humbleness too, that there is still more to learn, that I don't have all the answers, that the process of uncovering my destiny and my fate is an ongoing, continual process of learning and discovering, of trial and error, of foolishness and wisdom, and so it's good that we have this card, because it's sort of a check on this one, yeah, because this is that feeling like hurry up, I just want to be done with this and go, and sometimes that could lead us to rushing through, just trying to get it done as quickly as we can, but we're not really absorbing the experience, And so this card reminds us that we do need to slow down a little bit, especially with the Hanged Man on the other side. And we do need to slow down a little bit so that we can completely absorb the experience and allow it to really take root within us as we move into the future. You got the Two of Cups behind you. You're doing something that you absolutely are in love with. If this is a technical school, if this is some kind of a job or a training or a creative endeavor, you're doing it because you love it. You're doing it because this is where you belong. And this is that feeling that you're sitting there in the classroom and there's no doubt in your mind at all that this is where you belong, that you deserve to be among these other people. And in fact, you're getting the growing solar feeling that you're sort of the cream of the crop, that you're getting to the top of the class or whatever, right? But you absolutely deserve to be there. This is the right move. This was the right choice. This is the right partnership. Maybe you're talking, maybe we're talking relationships or like a family thing or whatever it is. I sort of feel that there was some sort of training or something like that involved, or there was some sort of and I feel like there was a stage where it was a lot of you together, and now you're sort of emerging as, the best of the best, or the top of the class, or like the one that gets selected. You know what I mean? There's some sort of energy like that going on. But it absolutely is something that you love, you're committed to, you're devoted to, and you deserve to be there. You belong here. Okay? Now, the Hanged Man up top is sort of a check and a balance on our Sun card. Because we need to be supportive of others. I think that this is the card that is, it's a self-sacrificing energy, right? So, this is the way that you can support others. This is the way that you can turn back from the finish line to go help your teammates who have fallen down. Okay? And this is a difficult card because too much of this, and it sacrifices your own achievements. And at the end of the day, it's like whatever's written on the paper, you know, you came in last. Well, you came in last. Well, yeah, that's because you were first. You waited around for a while, then you decided to go look for everybody else, you know, but that's not what it's going to say on the paper. So we have to be careful about how much we sacrifice ourselves to bring everybody else over. We want to be of service. We want to be supportive of others. We want to be self-sacrificing, but not to the point where it's detrimental to ourselves, but detrimental to the team itself. If you're carrying everybody forward, those people are not relying on themselves. Those people are not performing from their own knowledge and will and strength and things like that, right? You're doing it for them. You're not helping them or yourself. So it's a fine line. You know, how much do we help? How much do we sacrifice ourselves? And then how much do we say, you know, we've got to let others stand on their own 2 feet? Okay. Because, again, too much of that self-sacrifice, you're doing yourself a major disservice. Yeah. Okay, now, when we're done with this, I don't know, maybe this feels even like some sort of, I don't know if it's like military training or some kind of maybe boot camp, or I just kind of keep picturing like Navy SEALs, you know. But the future position, of course, is the very humble, the very practical, really, Princess of Swords, open to new experiences, right? Ready to learn more, realizing that we don't know very much, that we don't know anything, that emerging from this, yeah, we were the best of the best here, but once we get out to the real world, that we're kind of the beginner again. You know, emerging from this group, in that context, you're the star. In that context, you're the expert, you're number one, right? But then when you actually get thrown out into the world or into the next phase or whatever we're talking about, it's kind of like we start from the bottom again. So as your world shifts, it's going to feel like you got tossed down to the bottom of the ladder, okay? But it's not quite like that, because this is, it's like not everybody makes it to this part of the game, you know? And now you're here, and you've got to humble yourself enough to know that you've got a lot to learn, that you have to to figure out the ropes here. Okay, it's as if you're in that technical school and you've aced everything. You're the best in the class, but then when you're actually out there doing it for a job or a career, you know, the textbook stuff out the window. You're going to go work for a company, and they're going to say, "Hey, we do it differently here. This is your first day. You just shut up and listen. Watch what I do, and try not to get yourself hurt." Right? And we've got to accept that, right? Because as this shift takes place, it may feel as if you are starting from the bottom of the ladder. Yeah. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent here, and as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything, and it supports the channel. I do appreciate that. There's another channel where I do bedtime stories. If you haven't subscribed to that channel yet, please do. That's called Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. There's going to be a link in the description here, okay? And also, I wanted to do something new on this channel. I get a lot of questions in the email and in the comments and stuff. I wanted to do something old school. If you want to mail me a letter, I will read the letter on one of the video readings here. and I'll answer the questions sort of on air, sort of like an old school program, you know. The address to mail anything into Dove and Serpent Tarot is also down in the video description if you wanted to do that. Okay. Anyway, so star card, your general energy. And this is the realization, this is the ongoing realization or excavation of who you are and why you're here. Okay, so I think there's a certainty about this path. And again, it started with that Two of Cups, where this is something that you feel you deserve to be involved with. This is something that resonates with you just perfectly. And now I think you're getting sort of you're getting a revelation about what's coming next for you. Because I feel like getting out of this group here is giving you, it's sort of given you the tools, or it's given you the experience that you need now to almost like figure out what you really want to do, you know? Especially as this star energy is allowing you to hold this torch, this Ace of Wands. And the star card does two things. It first of all, the light illuminates us, shows us who we are, shows us where our weak spots are, shows us where we need to grow and develop, shows us where our buttons are, our sore spots, our knots of karma, right? And so that we can be filled with the divine light, right? Filled with the sunlight, right? And we can become a clear, pure channel, a pure conduit for that sunlight, that starlight, that divine energy. And of course, the more we clear away those blockages, those knots and buttons and things, the more freely that light can flow through us. And what that light does as it flows through us is it illuminates the path before us. You can understand, you can see what's coming next for you, right? And you realize that you have the power to sort of, to know what's right. I was going to say to choose, right? And this is kind of a card of choosing. I think even after this cocoon phase, which to me is about you figuring out where your weaknesses are and strengthening yourself, fortifying yourself up. It's like a boot camp or something, or like, I don't know, like the Navy SEAL training or something. You ever watch those shows? I watch those shows all the time. That process is showing you where you need to work on yourself so that you can, that you can become that solar energy. Okay. And then moving forward here with the Princess of Swords, I feel like this is, in some ways, you realizing what those weaknesses are, those weak spots, those challenge points that you can then continue working on in the future. I feel like this is also now you trying to decide what is supposed to come next for you. Okay. I feel like this is you sort of re-evaluating your long-term plans. And the star, of course, allows us to hold this magic wand, the Ace of Wands, which is illuminating the path before you. Now we have this torch that we're carrying, let's say, and it's only going to show us a few feet around us. And maybe the long-term goals we're not so sure of. But the maybe short-term goals we know. And we can see. And it's not so much a choice, but an awareness, an acknowledgement, a recognition of what is maybe the only choice. Because I feel like there is a certainty that comes with the Ace of Wands. This is you knowing what the next path is, the next step is. So there's not an uncertainty. It's almost as if there are not a dozen choices before you. There's just one. There might be a lot of different paths, but there's only one choice for you. See? And that's where we're moving. That's the direction we're going. We run into now the Hierophant again. Over here, we don't want the Hierophant. Over here, we don't want this idea of having to stay in this group and having to sort of prove ourselves or whatever this is. Like this, we sort of rebel against that institutional training or the authority. And it's just, I think you do very well in school, but I don't think you ever really liked it. You just couldn't wait to be done with it. And maybe it wasn't challenging enough, or maybe you just wanted to really get out there and do the thing. But, now that we're on the path of the serpent, I think we realize that we need the Hierophant. We need to sort of learn from others, and we need to sort of humble ourselves just enough to be part of this group and to do the work of the star card, to learn where our buttons are, learn where our weaknesses are. Because these cards together, just these kind of fiery solar cards, these 3 cards don't think there's anything wrong with them. These 3 cards don't think there are any buttons that need to be worked on, that there are any knots of karma anywhere. Weak spots? Who are you calling weak, right? So we sort of need that, right? And we put ourselves in these situations to realize what we don't know, to realize what I can't do so that I can learn to do it, so that I can get good at doing it, right? And so this doesn't have to be formal training or formal school, but it is a situation where you are learning sort of what you don't know. And you're learning what your weak spots are and what your challenge points are, what your knots of karma are, what your buttons are, so that you can, work on those and find the way forward. So we understand now the need, and I think there is sort of a gratitude and a thankfulness for just for the universe providing us the situation, whether it's a formal school, a technical school, or if it's just the neighborhood you're in, or whatever it is, right? I'm going to do something with that dove. We understand that we do need the world around us. We need help in that way, because sometimes it's not easy for us to see ourselves. So the Hierophant sort of represents the mirror. In these contexts, in these groups, these teams that you're in, that's the mirror that's going to show you what you need to do to get stronger, to get better, to grow, to become yourself, to, kind of become free. And so I think that's what we're seeing about the Hierophant as we go forward, that we're recognizing that positive aspect of the Hierophant. The Fool now is complete freedom. The Fool is sort of somebody that is free of these blockages, free of these, there are no buttons. The Fool has no buttons, right? The Fool has no self-awareness, really, right? The Fool is sort of empty, completely empty, ready to be filled with the divine light, ready to be made the magician. I wonder if that's going to be the mystery card. The Fool is the one that I think has, in a symbolic way, has completed phase 1, is ready for phase 2 of this star card, ready for the winds to change, ready for the world to shift big time. This is you emerging from this situation and in a way feeling that you're totally clear. I've done all the karmic work. I have no karma left to work on, And we know that's not always true, because every moment is another seed of karma. Every thought, word, and deed is a seed of karma for tomorrow, right? But in symbolic ways, the Fool is representing someone who has completed that and is ready for that next phase, that next journey. It's kind of like on the Fool's journey through the tarot, getting all the way from 0, the Fool, all the way to 21, the world, the universe, the completion of the path. But then it's kind of like that was phase 1. Now we're back at the beginning. We're going to do it again. So let's look at the mystery card, right? I think there's a big shift taking place in your life, okay? And I wonder if the 6 of Pentacles is talking about a financial situation, or the financial benefits of being in this group, now leading to a little bit of freedom into what you do next. It's kind of showing you... It's showing you what you need to know. It's sort of preparing you for your own financial path going forward, right? Because the 6, it's hard to deny the 6 of Pentacles, its financial layers, right? Mystery card, I think Magician or more Pentacles. Yeah, what do you think? Put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. An Ace of Cups, oh, that's good. Yeah, the Ace of Cups is good, because this is delight. This is the source of all love and joy and beauty and bliss and happiness. Yeah, and so I feel like I feel like you're not in this primarily for the financial gain, although the financial component's going to be there as a support. But you're more interested in doing it, in the experience, in the connections, in how it feels. You know, to emerge from this cocoon, to be in this new place, you know, that to take part in this big shift of energy, and to move forward into sort of the mystery of what comes next. You know, the Fool is the zero. The Fool is the beginning of the path. The Ace is the beginning of the flow of that water, and we don't know what river we're going to end up in, because the Ace of Cups sort of branches out into all these different rivers, and we could be on any single one of them. So I feel like it really is, this shift is opening up the door for you to so many really cool possibilities, right? So maybe we are talking financial freedom. Maybe we are talking some sort of graduation or a completion of some kind of a technical school or a trade school or something like that. Or even, you know, the getting out of a team or group or relationship, partnership situation, right? And going your own way, going an independent way, becoming sort of a free agent, right? But then also being able to look back and say, that was worthwhile being part of that group. Now I'm ready to be independent, and I'm ready to sort of ride the wave of this thing and see where it takes us. Yeah, very, very good energy. Very, very good. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Subscribe to the Bedtime Story channel, and if you want me to answer any of your questions sort of on air, mail them to the address, the mailing address that you'll find in the video description down below. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Also, if you don't want to watch the extended readings here, you can go to the website, doveandserpenttarot.com. You can sign up for the extended readings and you can watch them over there. Okay, just as another option here. Same extendeds as you get here on YouTube, but you can do it at the website. All right. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.